know it's the end of the world when monks start taking drugs. It's the end of the world. Thai temple left without any monks after they all failed a drug test. Oh my days. So I don't know who tipped them off, but apparently police and health officials raided a temple in Thailand, and for some reason they decided to give him drug test, and it all came back positive. After hearing this, is there really any hope for humanity? Oh my diddy. Now I'm sure most of you have come across this at some point in your life. Stairs that lead to nowhere. So all over the world, you can literally find stairs that go nowhere. And don't get me wrong, some of these can be explained. These stairs probably belong to an old building. These probably went up to a door that's no longer there. And this one is probably just poor craftsmanship. But there's some other ones that are just absolutely in the middle of nowhere. Oh my days. Like, who do these steps belong to? Aliens? And if you know me, you would know that I believe in mud floods and buried buildings. But just the steps on show? I'm lost with this one. And like I said, these stairs that lead to nowhere can be found all over the world. I guess some things just don't make sense. Oh, you son of a bitch. What have you done? Now I know a lot of you already know that bells was used for healing and meditation. But did you know that between 1939 and 1945, the Nazis went through the whole of Europe and confiscated over 175,000 bells? Oh my diddy. Oh yes, they did. And it's estimated over 150,000 bells was destroyed from air raids and bombings alone. So the mainstream narrative says the reason why they did this is because they needed more artillery and ammunition, so they melted down the bells and used them as weapons. It's also said that they put the bells into categories A, B, C and D. A being any bell that was made in the last 90 years, and D, any bell that was made before the year 1740. I know many of you won't agree with me, but I believe the main objective of those wars was to get rid of the old world. Oh, you son of a bitch. What have you done? So I'm sure by now many of you have heard of this zombie virus. And if you haven't, let me explain. So apparently, some scientists went down to Siberia and found a virus in the ice. I mean, come on. This don't even make sense. What you doing down there, bruv? What you doing on the floor looking around? Wait, get up from the floor, bruv. And they say they call it the zombie virus because they brought it back to life. Now, if you don't know, I've got a lot of friends in the conspiracy community. And the last thing we want to hear is zombie and virus in the same sentence. And they say we shouldn't be worried because it only affects single cell organisms. Humans should be okay. Now that's a risk I don't want to take. They said the same thing about bird flu and cow foot, and humans still caught that. We've only just finished our own virus. In fact, we're still going through our own virus. And you want to bring back new ones? Oh, hell no.
There's a matrix glitch in the NBA. It's kind of weird. There's a bunch of them. There's actually a whole string of them where there is, like, you'll see people doing the same thing. It's hard to explain. Like, two basketball players will be doing the exact same motion. It looks like someone just copied and pasted them. Or people in the audience, or you'll just have to see it to believe it.
So basically, they're like walking and functioning in sequence.
Yes.
Like they're copying each other.
Yeah, like they've just been copied and pasted.
And it's like multiple people doing the same thing at the same time.
Yeah, and it happens sporadically and randomly. It's kind of weird. It looks weird, like two people will look this way or something, or like two people will do the same hand gesture at the same exact time, but in two different spots on the camera. It's kind of weird.
told you, but you didn't believe me. These guys are not human. Yellow blood. Is artificial womb technology a tool for women's liberation? Or is it another unnatural problem for mankind? I guess women wouldn't have to deal with labor pain, and the modern day woman, she likes to work and keep busy, so I guess that might be positive. But then again, how would you feel knowing that some people was made in a lab? Well, I guess it won't be long until we all find out, because artificial wombs could be ready by 2030. You can eat from any tree in the garden, but don't eat from the forbidden fruit. Oh my days. So, women, you have a garden, and your garden is sometimes known as a flower. And men want to water your garden or your flower with a hose. And me want to plant my seed in your garden, gal. Because men, we've got a tree that grows big and strong. Even some people like to call it a snake. And our children are known as our seed, the fruit of our loins. Remember, the apple don't fall far from the tree. Why do you think after they ate the fruit, they realized they was naked? Come on, brother. And then, says Genesis, the eyes of them were both opened, and they knew that they was naked. For this transgression, they was evicted from paradise, devoid of their earlier childlike innocence. And Adam and Eve became aware of their nakedness. We all know what it means to lose your childhood innocence. That's why when they was kicked out of the garden, they was fully clothed. The forbidden fruit was the forbidden taboo. Oh my days. I knew something was wrong with Balenciaga. I just knew it. The moment I saw Brienne of Tarth walking through the mud, I knew something wasn't right. And I'm not up to date with fashion, so I decided to take a look into Balenciaga. And when we looked on the one piece of dirty trainer them try to sell we, you must seem mad. So it's no surprise that they're dealing with all type of evilness and wickedness. That same energy that you had for Kanye, I want you lot to show that same energy for Balenciaga. Oh my days. Scientists built a device that generates electricity out of thin air. And guess where they found it? They found it buried in the muddy shores of the Potomac River. Shout out to the Mud Flood gang. We tried to tell you that they was able to gather free energy from the ether. We tried to tell you what was going on in tarnation, and you didn't believe me. But when I say I got your ass, oh, I've got your ass. I knew it. I just knew it. We are living on a farm, an energy farm, and we are the livestock. Scientists want to use people as antennas to power 6G. Oh, you son of a bitch. If you don't know, humans are light beings. We are light slowed down. They're going to be using something called Li-Fi. Not Wi-Fi, Li-Fi, which uses lights and sensors to broadcast its signal. And we're not just being used for antennas. 6G wireless technology could use humans as a power source. They are draining our energy. They are sucking our life. They are the true vampires. Using humans as part of the antenna system offers the most efficient way to harvest waste energy. In the process, humans could wear coiled copper. They're feeding off us, bruv. It's really happening. This is real. This is the Needle's Eye, England. And I've got to ask you, do you really think they was just building things for the sake of it? I mean, look at it. All the way out there in the middle of nowhere, What do you think it was used for? I know what I think it is. But if I told you, you'd never believe me. Oh, you son of a bitch. You think you're smart. You really think you're clever. The minute we found out what really happened on Easter Island, you set the whole place on fire. I don't think you guys saw my Easter Island mud flood video saying that there was a mud flood on Easter Island and the statues were buried and the true history of Easter Island hasn't been told. And then what happens? The whole place has been set on fire. They're saying the damage that has been done is unrepairable. They're saying it was deliberately done. Now, who would set Easter Island on fire? This is what they do in every reset. In every city with major buildings, they have a fire. Everywhere, all over the world, a mysterious fire. Oh, we've got your ass. We've got your ass now. Oh, you son of a bitch. Arsonists set fire to Easter Island, charring and cracking the sacred moral figures. The damage can't be undone. The fire is believed to have been started deliberately. A fire set on Easter Island has badly damaged the sacred Maya statues, some irreparably, according to the director of the park. The blaze was set deliberately on Monday around the Ranu Raku volcano. All the fires on Rapa Nui are caused by human beings. The damage caused by the fire can't be undone. The cracking of an original and emblematic stone cannot be recovered, no matter how many millions or euros or dollars are put into it. Oh, you son of a bitch. This is the St. George Hall in Liverpool, England. And when I say that's a Tartarian building, I mean that's a Tartarian building. Oh my days. So, St. George's Hall is a building on St. George's Place, opposite Lime Street railway station in the centre of Liverpool, England. Opened in 1854, it is a neoclassical building which contains concert halls, law courts, and is recorded in the National Heritage List for England as a designated Grade 1 listed building. I bet it is. And they say construction started in 1841. However, the site of the hall was formerly occupied by the First Liverpool Infirmary from 1749 to 1824. So that lets us know a structure was already there. They either expanded it or most probably just renovated it. And this is one of the first illustrations of the hall. Look how small the people are compared to the building. And look how beautiful it is inside. Absolutely amazing. And of course, they had to have an organ. Because a lot of people don't know, but in these Tartarian buildings, they would always have bells or organs because they used to use sound and frequency for healing. Oh my days. Oh my days. Oh my diddy. Oh my diddy. Did you know that they found a ship from the 1700s underneath the World Trade Center? So they're trying to say it was put there as a land filler. A ship! And apparently nobody knew it was there until the demolition job, the terrorist attack on the World Trade Center. Now I'm not trying to scare you, so please don't be scared. But you better be concerned. Why do you think all the rich people are leaving Britain? It's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good. The way that we're living right now In the next few years, we won't be able to live this way. Things are changing for the worst. Now, by all means, this is not financial advice, but don't buy no houses, don't buy no land, don't set up shop. Get out while you still can. Are you listening? Because I'm going to get straight to the point on this one. There's no way that that thing in the sky belongs to China. It's a balloon. A balloon. With all the technology that China has, do you really think that they're using spy balloons? I mean, come on, brother. If you believe, you know what? You believe that because that's what you would do. You would make a balloon and try spy on a man. Do you really think the government of China, come on. And you know what America is saying? They're saying they're unsure what it is and they're unsure how it was able to fly. It's a balloon. It's not even flying, bruv. It's a balloon floating in the sky. And look how long people have been talking about seeing UFOs. And now all of a sudden, the government have captured 4 UFOs? 4 of them. That's right. They came in our airspace, and you know what we gonna do? We're gonna shoot them UFOs down. That's what we do. You shot them down. Listen, that's not even a UFO, brother. That's a parachute, brother. Them man, listen. Them man shot down a parachute and tried to pass it off as a UFO. Come on, brother. Man are shooting down balloons and parachutes. 4 unidentifying objects. I can identify them. One's a balloon and one's a parachute. Listen, I know people believe this and think it's gospel, but I'm telling you now, yeah, the real UFOs are being hidden in them clouds. Or them strange clouds that everybody's like, yep, that's a normal cloud. I see that cloud on the mountain. But then when they see these balloons in the sky, man are like, yeah, that's definitely a UFO. It's a balloon and a parachute. Imagine that. Aliens traveled 5 million miles away and they thought, let's come to Earth, and they got shot down. You really start a war with aliens. This is the most ridiculous story I've heard since the Big Bang. Oh, you son of a bitch. What have you done? The International Criminal Court has issued a warrant for Vladimir Putin. Oh my days. So allegedly, hundreds of children have been taken from Ukraine to Russia. It's funny that, isn't it? It's one rule for one rule for the other. Because I'm not agreeing with what Putin's done. In fact, I don't even know what Putin's done. But America, England, they've been committing war crimes for the longest. Every day children go missing. Not to mention all the sacrifices and rituals that they be doing. And none of you lot even care. But the minute your government say Putin's the bad guy, you believe them without question. Well, I don't know if Putin's going to go down easily. And I doubt he's going to go down without a fight. This may be the single act that started World War III. Now, I'm not trying to scare you. But you really need to be concerned. It's happened before, and it's gonna happen again. The UK government are setting up an emergency alert system where they'll be notifying us of any fires, floods, terrorist attacks, and you guessed it, public health emergencies. Oh, you son of a bitch. So on the 23rd of April, all UK citizens will get a notification on their phone and will not be able to access their phone until they acknowledge the emergency alert. Oh, you son of a bitch. Now, I don't know if this means that we're going to war or something else is going to happen, but they're definitely preparing for something. I just don't know what.